There may be some of you across one of our networks that lost our signal, and that is simply because we had a computer crash, and those things do happen. The world of electronics, it does occur from time to time, and we apologize for that, but we're hopefully back into the realm of you being able to catch us and see us all the way across the board here at Union University. And it is about time for us to bring the starting lineups for this men's game that is about 3 minutes away from the start. For Mississippi College, they'll be starting Miles Miller. He's a 6'3" sophomore from from Meridian, Mississippi. He's a transfer from Ole Miss. Averages 9 points a game. He has had 70 assists this season. Antonio Cowart is a 6'3" senior from Macomb, Mississippi, a transfer from Ohio University. And Cowart is again one that's counted on to do many things across the board. Judah Jordan is a 6'3" sophomore from Ellicott, Maryland. He's a transfer from Weber State. And this guy can do so many things with and without the basketball. Galen Smith, he is a 6'8" junior from Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, another transfer from Louisiana College, and Winford Ross. And Ross is somebody that you can see him all up and down the floor. Ross is a 6'7" senior from Durant, Mississippi, and a community college transfer. Those are the starters for the Choctaws. For the Union Bulldogs, it's Tyree Boykin. And I hope you enjoyed our visit with him if you were able to see it at halftime. If not, you can see it on the Worthy Road Studios YouTube page after these games are completed. Tyree Boykin averaging 19 a game, 46 assists on the season. Jeremiah Littlepage, who had a big night, 15 points Thursday night against Delta State. And Jeremiah comes in averaging 7 a game and 5 rebounds. Hunter Vick, of course, he's the 6'4" senior from Camden, and Hunter is averaging 10.6 a game and 6 rebounds. Ty Parks, the big guy on the wing. Ty is 6'4", a senior from Pocahontas, Mississippi. Pocahontas, Tennessee. Those folks in Pocahontas, Tennessee, going to get upset if I say Mississippi. But anyway, Ty is averaging 11 a game and 6 rebounds, and Bo Gidgel, he's the big guy from Los Angeles, 6'8" junior, and Bo is averaging 14 a game, 7 rebounds, and he has blocked 20 shots. And those are your starters, brought to you by Worthy Road Studios. And we're delighted to have you with us for the second half of this doubleheader. Lady Bulldogs winning against Mississippi College 78-60 in the 6-0 in the opener. And I am glad to report that it looks like everybody is, with the exception of Mikhail Simmons, who's still favoring that ankle, looks like everybody is ready to go on this one today. And I can't tell if somebody's had a haircut for the Bulldogs, but we'll find that out when they come onto the floor. It does appear that somebody has had a little crop job here. We'll try to find out more about that. Here are the starting lineups being introduced on the floor.
Preventing racial or sexist comments or other intimidating actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated, and are grounds for removal from the site of competition. Thank you for your cooperation. And now, this afternoon's starting lineup, beginning with the visitors, the Choctaws, Mississippi College. At guard, a 6'3" sophomore from Meridian, Mississippi, number 1. Miles Miller. At guard, a 6'3" senior from Macomb, Mississippi, number 2, Antonio Cowart Jr. At guard, a 6'3" sophomore from Ellicott, Maryland, number 3, Judah Jordan. At 4, a 6'8" junior from Bay St. Louis, Mississippi, number 15, Galen Smith. And at 4, a 6'7" senior from Durant, Mississippi, number 32, Winford Ross. The Choctaws are coached by Randy Bolden, assisted by John Lupton and Sam Jack. senior from Clarksville, Tennessee, number 11, Tyree Boykin. And for a 6'7" sophomore from Birmingham, Alabama, number 20, Sharon Littlepage. And a 6'4" senior from Camden, Tennessee, number 23, Hunter.
Bulldogs introduced, trying to shake off the cobwebs of that loss 59-56 on this score on Thursday night against Delta State. Bulldogs are still on top, actually tied for the lead in the Gulf South Conference with West Alabama at 12-3. So every one of these down the stretch is so important as to which team will get home court advantage. Bulldogs will almost certainly have a home court advantage unless they had some kind of collapse in the last 2 weekends. They only get one home game, and that is next Saturday. Out of the rest of the regular season, they're playing West Alabama. Next Saturday afternoon, we'll have all the action. Fallaway jumper is there right off the bat. In the first 8 seconds, Hunter Vick connects. This Mississippi College team comes in averaging 64 points a game. They're 5-15 on the season, 3-11 in the Gulf South. But they are very, very defensive-minded. They have held their opponents to 69 per game during the season. That one off the mark, and Gidgel the first rebound. I think it's Mikhail Simmons that has had a crop job on his hair, and we'll take a look at that. He was not on the crutches, so I don't know whether he's ready to get back into game action. That pass is too far astray, and it would have been an over and back violation. So it's virtually a gift for Mississippi College down at the opposite end. That bounce pass was just too wide. And it will be a, wait a minute now, and I understand, they said it was, now they moved it back to 30 seconds. Initially, they had put 20 seconds on the shot clock. That would only have been if Union had retained possession. And bounce pass underneath, and nice job of staying focused for Galen Smith. The big guy from Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. And it is Parks for the three, not getting the friendly roll. And send it back down to the Choctaws. MC comes in shooting 44% from the field, but their opponents have hit 47%. So it'll be interesting to see whether they try to go with an inside or an outside game against this Union defense. And at halftime, we'll be bringing you a classic game that goes back 26 years, and I hope you enjoy it. Down to 4 on the shot clock. Somebody's going to have to rear back and fire. And that one was just a little bit late for Jordan. It did not hit the rim, and so it is a 30-second shot clock violation. The Bulldogs have actually performed better in the conference on the road than they have here at home. It's just one of those things that it's an unusual characteristic sometimes that you have those nights that maybe when you're at home it just doesn't go as well. Fall away jumper is there, and Vick getting the first 2 baskets for the Bulldogs. When these two teams met down in Clinton, Mississippi, Union won it 82-79. It was a highly competitive game. It was Tyree Boykin that came up with the game-winning basket. And I hope you enjoyed our visit with him between games. What a wonderful young man and to talk about. And the hook is there. Jump hook for Littlepage. As I say, he had himself a night on Thursday night with 15 points. It was a night that the supporting cast was just not working on all cylinders. And the floater is short for Miller, and Union's on the bicycle. Open for the three. It is, let me tell you, if somebody has a hot hand, his is ablaze, and timeout is called by Coach Randy Bolden as Union is on top 9-2. Well, this Mississippi College team plays a distinctively different style of basketball than Delta State did Thursday night. And I asked Dave Niven if he'd rather play a slow, deliberate defensive team or one that likes to play fast-paced.
The teams that guard you are always harder to play against. I'd much rather play a team that doesn't really care about defending you, that you have to guard. I think those games are certainly easier for me to coach because when your players can just go out and play and make plays, and you don't have to manufacture shots for them through calling out sets or really working to find matchups. Just let you guys play because they're going to be able to attack the basket. They're going to be able to get into the paint. They're going to be able to do things that you want to do on every possession.
And Dave will bring you a lot of insights to the game as we go along this evening during breaks in the action. And I tell you, Coach Bolden wanted to get that action stopped after it went 9-2. And Union on the attack again. The stop and pop just off the back of the iron. And Union's going to control this one. Vick, who's just been all over the place in the start of this contest. And in between the defenders, and there you go, Ty Parks. He had an off night Thursday night, and I know he wants to have a better one today. They may be taking things out on MC, but we're very, very early at 11-2. And a foul away from the ball. That one's charged to Ross. And we've got timeout for the media, and that includes us. Dave Niven says the toughest opponents are the ones that guard you closely and make it difficult to shoot from the outside. And he told me how you have to adjust when you face that kind of team.
Teams that don't defend or that don't put a priority on defense, I would always, as a coach, I always look for those games. Doesn't mean you're always going to play well, but I think by and large, it does make my job easier when our players have that kind of an advantage playing against a weaker defensive team. So if you are a team that's really going to guard, though, then we have to really it just there's more work in the game of recognizing, okay, where is it may just be one matchup on the floor that we can attack.
Well, the early going suggests the Bulldogs have shaken off a little bit of the dust from Thursday night, shooting 71% from the floor here in the first 4 minutes and change. Mississippi College 1 out of 7 for 14%, and already Hunter Vick has 7 of the 11 Union points. Hunter had a strong second half on Thursday night. It was just one of those nights, and some of that you attribute to the Delta State defense, but it was one of those nights that if everything possibly could go wrong, it could. Union working the perimeter, but they're always looking to get into the inside to somebody like Littlepage or Ty Parks. They'll go for that alley-oop play, and I thought that's where they were going there. Parks for the three. Yes, sir. A 14-2 lead for Union, and we're not even 5 minutes into it. And just watch how this team continues to rotate its offense. They don't get rattled even if they get behind. Fall away jumper is there, and Cowart connects. Antonio Cowart, the transfer senior from Ohio U. But he's a Mississippi guy. And watch Parks between the defenders. It didn't drop, but he will draw the foul. That's charged to Cowart. That's his first. So Ty goes to the line on the season. He is a 67% free throw shooter. That's what you call the mortuary moment, where everything gets quiet when Union is shooting at the free throw line. It will not be that way when the opponents are there. Good to see a lot of these young athletes here from Crockett County this afternoon. And I'm going to tell a story in a few minutes on Bethany Dillard of the Lady Bulldogs. She had a great day today with 14 points, but she's in trouble. And I'm going to tell you why as we move along. Did not get the fall. And the rebound coming off to Judah Jordan. And from the corner, the three is air ball city. Union just seems to be much more loose than they did. They'd been 8 days without game competition on Thursday night. And sometimes that just creates some rust. Fall away. Yes, sir. Little Page is there. A 17-4 lead. And again, look at the defensive pressure that Little Page is putting on in the backcourt, as well as coming over to double team. We'll be talking to Dave Niven about double teaming. Nice one from the corner for the three. Jordan with plenty of arc on that to make it a 17-7 game. Little Page again, softly maneuvering that finger roll on the inside, and so he has 4. And the answer shot is a 3 for 2 back in the corner for Jordan. So the pace and the tempo and the precision, all three are picking up. Union with crisp passing in this one. Vic is open. Vic connects. Already in double figures, barely 7 minutes into this one. 22-10 lead for Union. And you're hearing chants of defense from the Bulldog bench. And Union comes up with it, and the foul. That one's going to be charged to Judah Jordan, his first. And we got substitutions coming in. Jordovich is coming in for Union, as well as J.C. Clossy. Dave Niven is going to substitute freely today. He has 10 players that he feels very, very confident with, trust implicitly on this floor. And Union slows the tempo this time. They've been playing more of an up-tempo first 7 minutes of this contest. Bulldogs came into the game shooting 46% from the floor. And from the corner. Yes, sir! JT to Buck. And Union is just lights out. 25-10. And again, they're playing out from behind the arc. And going into the lane, the floater is there. Nicely timed by Miles Miller. And a steal, but Union is going to get it back. Good defense on the part of Smith. Iron was unkind, and MC will go down to see if they can close this down to a 10-point game. Getting into the vicinity of another media timeout here shortly. And underneath, nicely left-hand reverse layup for Taylor. Jacob Taylor from Bardstown, Kentucky. I'm very familiar with that town. It is JT again, and JT connects. The mail has come home for JT, and it is 28-14. Again, slowing the tempo down. Again, the Choctaws going for the bomb. It is not there, but they were out of position to get the defensive rebound. And again, working from behind the perimeter with 10 on the shot clock. They're at 6, and they got the opening underneath to Galen Smith. He got behind the defenders, and it was nobody home to catch him. Watch Gidgel. And that was just a little bit too much on it, trying to go between those defenders and then curl it home going left to right. And the jumper is there for 2. So Miller with his second bucket of the afternoon. And I thought Vic was going to take it all the way in. Fall away. Jumper is not there. Iron was unkind for Djordjevic. So trying to get this back into a single-digit deficit. Choctaws will slow it down again. They would love to be able to get Smith behind his defenders once again. Going for the bomb. Yes, sir. Absolutely no question about that for Cowart. And he has 5. Vic, that low center of gravity he has, and he can do so many things with it. And what a little curl pattern underneath his defender for Djordjevic. And we're barely halfway through this, and we may get to the 8-minute mark, and we haven't even had one media timeout beyond the 16-minute mark. You go at 16, 12, 8, and 4. They haven't had a break in the action to take one. Big bomb 3, off the mark. Now we're going to get a media timeout. Union leads at 30-21, and patience is a big key for any team to challenge an opponent's defense. We saw that Thursday night with Delta State. Dave Niven gives you the Cliff's Notes on what patient players will do to the other team.
Because this team is really good. Or the matchup that is there, they're really good at hiding and helping. And so your teams have got to be patient. And you really need to see the ball moving a lot and the players moving a lot. The ball should change sides of the floor in order to eventually, defenses are going to break down. If you can get enough penetration and enough ball movement, defenses will eventually break down and you get a good shot. That's when you need good players at every position, because you never know who it's going to be. If the ball is going to end up in their hands for that good shot, you need guys that can step up and make the play.
Dave Niven has to be happy with what he sees so far. His Bulldogs are shooting 71% from the floor and 63% from behind the arc. It was a nightmare night from three-point land on Thursday night. Bulldogs doing a good job on the boards, even 7-7 with both teams. Union only committing 1 turnover, 3 for Mississippi College. Both teams have been taking care of the basketball quite well. MC 50% from the floor, 38% in three-pointers. Your game leader is Hunter Vick with 10 already, and 6 each for Union with Little Page, Parks, and DeBuck. For MC, it is Judah Jordan, their leader, with 6, and Cowart with 5. And Bulldogs set to toss it in. And here they go. Boykin trying to find an open range, and in traffic, smashes it home. Tyree may not get the early points in the game, but I can tell you down the stretch, he's going to be delivering. As he pointed out, nobody was any more frustrated than he was when he lost that opportunity to get a tying three-point shot on Thursday night against Delta State. And the foul is charged to Djordjevic. But as many people will tell you, the game should never have really come down to that possession. It was just it was a rough night altogether for the Bulldogs. On the floor, three-pointers not dropping. And that slow tempo that Delta State played, and very, very patient post players that they had. Cartwright in particular was outstanding down the stretch. Three is short, and Djordjevic pulls it down. Boykin working one-on-one against Jordan, couldn't make it deliver. All right, they're going to set it back up in the corner. Miller looking for the screen and goes off of it. Almost tossed it away. And for three. It is there. Quiet reaction in the house as Judah Jordan now has 9. And it's now down to an 8-point margin. Yes, sir. And that's another JT DeBuck trademark. He has 8. That young man can come off the bench and give you a bunch. And the defense chants go off across the house once again as we approach the 7-minute mark. And for the 3, it is there. They have been delivering lately, and that is Cowart for a 3. They are now 46% from behind the arc. Union, 63%. And they've quietly sliced this lead down to 7. DeBuck again with a jumper. He's got a hot hand. Union is 15 of 21 from the floor for 71%. That cannot possibly continue even for the rest of this half. But that is a blazing start. This is Jordan looking to see if he can get a trip down the lane. Instead gets the fall away, and it is Djordjevic pulling it down. And JT, no. Probably, he had an open look, but probably needed to look for another pass before he let fly with that rocket. And again, slowing the tempo. That's more of the type game. They're faster paced than Delta State, but this team wants to really go for more deliberation. And there you go, Cowart now with his 3rd three-pointer, and it's a 6-point game. They just begin to slice it down on you. This team shoots 36%, same as Union, when it comes to three-pointers. Boykin's in traffic. And open, and perfectly timed jump, almost hanging on to it too long was Djordjevic. It is Boykin. Yes! Tyree with another 3. I hope you enjoyed his story about his faith as part of the interview that we did with him. It just was really, to me, it's just heartwarming to hear a young man to talk about that and to do so openly. And we're getting close to the 4-minute mark. This thing has been played very quickly. We've only had 4 fouls called in the entire game so far. Fall away 3 is off the mark. Union with a little bit of butter on the fingers, but they held on to it. DeBuck's going to try to take it all the way, overshot it, but he knew the defender was going to crash in on him, and he draws the foul. That is going to be charged to Ross. That'll be his first, and we've got another media timeout. So with Union on top 39-30, talk to any coach and he'll tell you that everything is matchups with your opponent. And sometimes teams that don't appear to be that good on paper match up much better with your players. Dave Niven explains more about how that works.
You know, most of the time when teams are playing man-to-man, they've got one player on one of their players on one of our players, and we're looking for the the spot on the floor where we can take advantage of what their defender is capable of doing. So, with your best players, that's typically where you're looking. But often, it'll be a guy that maybe your fourth or fifth best scorer because they're putting their worst defender on that guy. And you feel like, all right, well, our fifth best scorer is a lot better than their worst defender, so we're going to go at that guy.
There's those guys from Crockett County, and glad to have them here today. I told you I was going to tell you why Lady Bulldog Bethany Dillard is in trouble. Thursday night during our interview with her between games, and it was a delightful interview, but Bethany said that neither of her siblings went on to any kind of athletic career in college. Well, that's not altogether true. As you see some more of our faithful here, that's not altogether true. Her sister received a cheerleading scholarship to Harding University. And when the interview appeared the other night, there was an immediate text that went from one sibling to the other saying, I guess you forgot about me. I'll just say that a little bird told me that in between games today, and I found out all about this. Bethany doesn't know yet that I know. The follow is there. That's what Tyree Boykin can bring you, is concentration to get that second shot at the basket. A 42-30 game, so Union pulled 3 points out of that possession. Bethany is going to die if she ever finds out how I found out about her trouble that she's in. And kicked away, and they'll play it underneath with another 20 seconds on the clock. Little Page checks back in, and DeBuck will come out, and we have another media timeout because we're having to catch up on them. Well, we're going to continue our conversation about matchups on the court during this break. Coach Niven is about to give you a class example of a player who is difficult to match up with in any game.
A guy like Bo Gidgel is a matchup problem every night because he is big and strong and a great post up. And so if I'm playing against him, I'm thinking, all right, I have to put a guy that can defend him in the post down there. But he plays on the perimeter a lot, and most players that can defend him in the post can't guard him on the perimeter. And so that's where you see matchup problems for our opponents a lot of the time, because if they put a smaller, quicker guy that can guard him on the perimeter, we can run something to get him the ball in the post.
And here you go, Mark Campbell and family and assistant coach and just about anybody else that you might want to have a connection to the Union basketball program. They're all here today. And Mark's Lady Bulldogs, again, a 78-60 victor over Mississippi College to remain undefeated at 14-0 in the Gulf South Conference race. And so Lady Bulldogs still number one. And there's those young ladies who are begging Mom to send them money. And if you don't send money, Mom, at least send some kind of care package that's full of cookies, cakes, pies, whatever, because those young ladies are starving right now and they need it. And again, with 20 on the shot clock, Choctaws are trying to see if they would love to be able to get one on the inside behind Little Page, because he plays way up front. But watch Gidgel come up and try to attack that three. And that was the outstretched arm of Little Page that provided that rebound for Union. Vic almost went for the jump shot. And it's Boykin. In and out. He was robbed. Jordan came down with it. And Judah's going to, again, toss it back out front and let Miller call the play. Let's work the perimeter again and see how Coach Bolden plays it. Under 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Fall away is there. He has a beautiful shooting motion, and Cowart has 13 to lead the entire game. DeBuck has 11 for Union, and Hunter Vick 10. Almost a steal. Was a little bit lackadaisical on that bounce pass. And apparently they said the bounce pass went on the end line, so give it to the Choctaws. That is only the second turnover of the game for the Bulldogs. So Jordan tosses it in. And Union not playing the same kind of half-court trap that they did against Delta State on Thursday night. That had mixed success. We're getting close to the 2-minute mark and 12 on the shot clock. Tell you, Miller can hold on to that ball all day. But Union is trying to keep them from getting kind of a backdoor play, and that's one they didn't want to happen. And they could not deliver in the 30-second time limit, and so Union has it. And here we go. Boykin is just so confident with that ball, and he relishes the leadership position that he's in on this team. He has so much experience to back him up as well. Backdoor kick, and there you go. Gidgel is so wide open and got the three, but they called a violation before then. That is only the 5th team foul. So we haven't had anybody to go into the bonus. Union has only committed 1 foul in the first half. Checking back in is Ross. And sitting down is Carter. Open for the three. Boykin was robbed, but the follow is right there for Littlepage. That's twice today that he's come through with a tip-in. Like my old coach Paul Leroy used to say, if you could get 8 to 10 points on tip-ins, you'll probably win. And it takes great, and that's the kind of backdoor play they did earlier and got behind the defenders. In traffic, but Boykin saves it. Almost in there. They tried a sort of a delayed alley-oop. That's going to send Parks to the line for 2. The foul is charged to Galen Smith, his first. Parks on the season, as we said, 67%. Boykin is the leader from the line at 87%. And Bo Gidgel is right at the edge of 80. In and out for Jeremiah. I got to say hello, checking back in is Carter as well as Talon Smith. I got to say hello to my little Page down in Birmingham, and hope you're doing well down there. In and out, missed them both. I hope it hasn't gotten as cold as it has here today, as we've been down in the upper 30s. Tipped away, and the pass went astray. Miscommunication with Jordan, and so Union will play it. That's turnover number 4 for the Choctaws. But both of these teams have done a good job of protecting the basketball this afternoon. They're going to come up and try to challenge a little bit against Boykin. Yeah. Smart move on the part of Hunter Vick, because he knew he was in trouble in the corner, and Union calls timeout. We're going to keep it right here with 33 and a half seconds to go, and Union on top 44-34. And Vick with 10 points and DeBuck with 11 off the bench. They lead Union with 21 of the 44 points. Littlepage with 8, Boykin with 7, Parks with 6. Over on the other side, it is Antonio Cowart Jr. with 13. He's 5 of 7 from the floor. 7 points for Miller and 6 each for Smith and Jordan. So it's a 44-34 game, and Union has controlled it pretty much since the outset. They've had a lead as large as 13. And there's some of the Lady Choctaws as they are seen. Hope some of their families got a chance to just see their 3 seconds on camera. And Union has to shoot it about, they got to let it fly by 8 seconds on the game clock. They're doing a great job double teaming the ball. But wide open was Bo Gidgel, and he over-slammed it. Couldn't get it to go. Oh, my goodness. What a bad break for Gidgel. He was more wide open than the sky, and they got to let it fly. Let's see if it goes. No. It went right. If Hunter Vick had been able to get that one from 50 feet away, that would have erupted this place. But no matter. Union on top at halftime, 44-34. And let me run down some of the totals for you. For Mississippi College, 13 points for Antonio Cowart Jr. and 7 for Miller, 6 each for Smith and Jordan. And for Union, it is Justin DeBuck with 11, 10 for Hunter Vick, 8 for Little Page, 7 for Boykin, and 6 for Parks. And Union on top, 44-34 at halftime, going for win number 13 in the Gulf South Conference and win 19 overall. So, it is time for our classic halftime feature. And tonight, as you see some of these enthusiastic fans here at Fred DeLay Gymnasium, we're going to take you back in time 26 years before cell phones became dominant, before the internet was the centerpiece of our lives, before we had so many advances that, before I think people were saying things like, it is what it is. 1996. And Union was beginning to turn the corner of a program that had had a couple of lean years. Ralph Turner was the coach. Lipscomb, who is one of the vaunted rivals of the past, now they're in Division I NCAA, but Lipscomb came to town after having defeated Union relatively soundly on its court earlier in the season. Watch what happens as we're in the final 2 minutes and 7 seconds of this game from 26 years ago, the Bulldogs against Lipscomb.
It's going to get interesting. And it already has been. Barnes being worked on closely by Farmer. Good matchup here. Watch how Farmer never takes his eyes off of Barnes' eyes. They go for the alley-oop, and it was just too high, but the foul was called from behind.
Boy, that is a gutsy call by Coach Turner to call the alley-oop, being only up 1 at the 2-minute mark. But tell you what, strong move that time to the basket by Gehring, and he goes up and draws the foul.
Let's watch it again with 1:52.
I think there's a very smart play by Coach Turner. Like we were talking about earlier, Pastore was guarding him, who gives up probably a good 4 or 5 inches on Kurt Gehring, and not to mention the strength factor. But I think that was a good call. He saw the weakness, he made the call, and then went right at Pastore.
Gehring, in and out. Rebound comes off to Holt, but Union is up by 2. 65-63. Gehring with 25 now. Every possession is electrifying this crowd.
Lipscomb also now playing with both Turner and Pastore having 4 fouls.
You're going to see some timeouts in a moment, I'm sure. They go back across the defense, driving with it. Farmer was short. Holt lost the rebound, and it gets into the hands of Lee, and they say he double dribbled. Unbelievable call.
Tell you what, we're courtside, and I didn't see that call.
I did not see that at all. I don't know if his wife is watching the game, but honey, he just blew one.
Well, and immediately the assistant coaches, Volbert and Sane, implored Jeff Lee, if you come down with the rebound, especially at this critical point in the game, hold the ball and get it in the hands of the experienced ball handlers. He is not that.
Barnes and Davis definitely want to be the ones. The question is, does Meyer go for a 3? Now, what's the call in the middle? On O'Shing, and he'll be gone.
5 on O'Shea.
This has not been, wait a minute, don't have any discussion about it here. Oshing is out of there, and this has not been one of his particularly good nights. He comes out with 4 points and 1 rebound, but he's been in foul trouble much of the game. He just very frustrated with himself because he did not think that was a correct call, and Turner's arguing it a bit. Officials just standing there patiently.
Well, I know he's got to be frustrated. I just don't see how they can continuously make that call on Elvis. He's just trying to gain position there. I don't think he's supposed to let John Holt just walk into the basket. He's got to be able to try to hold some position there, and the officials are not letting him do that.
Well, Lee is back in with 4 fouls. Holt to the line. He is 2 for 5 in this half. He is 3 for 6. That makes it a 65-64 game.
John Holt's a strong game, 15-point performance. I wouldn't at all be surprised if you see Lipscomb put a little bit more pressure on the ball coming down. Union has been a bit prone to the turnover, and Meyer's going to call a timeout, perhaps to discuss the defensive strategy.
Quite frankly, the clock struck 12 for Cinderella for the Union Lady Bulldogs last night. Tonight, the chance for the Bulldogs to gain a measure of revenge for that one, and also to elevate themselves even higher in the prestige of this conference as Ralph Turner rebuilds this Bulldog team.
Here's the thing. They're going to run a 1-3-1 to try to break the full court press, and Lipscomb, after contesting the inbound, will fall off of it. But
we're getting very close. Watch the time in your lower right-hand corner of your screen. Hoover with it. 1 minute to go. Davis, or rather Lee. He's got the 3! Jeff Lee giving Union a 3-point margin. It's 68-65. 50 seconds to go. What a time for a clutch shot from Lee. And timeout is called again by Meyer. Well, Lipscomb will employ the press. And Barnes gets it into Davis. Oh, a dangerous pass because he was trying to get the breaker. We're at 27. Davis is fouled. Well, I don't know if that was by intent, but Meyer, and unfortunately for them, they put the guy on the line who has been the hottest for Union, and it also gives them 2 shots because it's the 10th foul.
yeah, I really don't think that was an intentional foul. Andy Blackson that time had good position for the steal from behind, and it almost looks clean, actually, but as you mentioned, that's the 10th team foul, and that'll put Michael Davis on the line for 2.
Davis, 20 of his last 21 in the last 3 games from the free throw line. 21 of 22.
Clutch free throw that time on Michael Davis. Good job by the senior from Clinton, Kentucky.
Put it up softly. It's 69-67. 27 seconds left. This is so important to keep Lipscomb, and he gets it 70-67. Timeout Union. Is gone. Jeff Lee is playing with 4. Eric Barnes with 4. Rodrigo Pastore and Jamie Turner both with 4 for Lipscomb. So should this thing go to overtime, that's what you got to look at as far as personnel available. Union is going to employ, well, it looked like they were going to press, now they back off.
Yeah, maybe a bit of token pressure right at the half-court line, but
the clock is not starting. They went 2-3 seconds down the floor. Turner has it blocked. And it was a clean block.
Well, that was a correct time management. He allowed the ball to come in but didn't touch it. And as you know, the clock does not start until the offensive player touches the ball.
My view was blocked, and I didn't see the fact that he had not touched the ball.
Yeah.
22 seconds left. They try to find the open man. They go outside. It's going to be a long drive for Farmer. In and out. The rebound comes off to Barnes, and he's fouled.
Oh, my goodness.
This place is exploding.
I would have bet the farm that shot was falling. It hit every part of the rim but the bottom. Good looking shot that time, but a strong rebound by Eric Barnes, and he has a chance to really put this game out of reach.
It's like a chapter out of a Max Lucado novel tonight, and this one could go on the side of Union if Barnes connects on one or both of these. Let's watch it. It's there.
Clutch free throw by Eric Barnes that time. Great job. I think he just put it away for him.
Eric Barnes, first point of the night. Watch it again. In and out. Lipscomb still with a chance. 15 seconds to go. Perry quickly down. Down to 10 seconds. They feed. They go on the side. Blackston for 3. It's short. Who gets it? Perry. They do not have enough time. Union is going to win it. A long, desperate try. Hope cannot get it up. The Bulldogs have done it. They have upset David Lipscomb. 27. Let's go down on the floor. I've got him right here. And Ralph, this has to be one of the great ones that you've ever had. Your team did not quit when you got down 9 at halftime. Ralph still shaking hands as the players go off the floor. Now I'm going to try to see if I can get Blake Neely to grab a couple of these other stars. Ralph, you absolutely have got to know your team just did not quit, and it really, I'm going to get him in just a second. It elevated them another level tonight with this one. I mean, I know last year you got a victory in the pre-Christmas, but here we were tonight. Unbelievable game.
Well, you got to take your hats off to our kids. They're playing one of the best teams in the country, number 3 in the country. They played their hearts out. Michael Davis, Kirk Gehring, Matt Hoover, Eric Barnes, Brandon Wood. They all played so well. They made big plays in the end when it counted, and really you should be talking to them. They just did a great job. Our assistant coaches tonight did a great job on the bench. They really helped him prepare and getting some ideas ready for the game. And what can you say? Who would you rather have at the line than your best free throw shooter? One of the best free throw shooters, a great senior leader. You got to be proud for that. We're happy.
Well, I want you to hang with me while Blake gets a shot at Michael right here.
Mike, 22 out of 23 your last free throws. I don't know if you're aware of that or not, but that's what you've hit. Earlier in the year, we deemed you Mr. Clutch. You come into the game, 6 points average, 15 tonight. What was the difference? What brought you out of your offensive shell?
Basically, they were focusing more on Kurt and Matt, and I just feel I had a chance to make some shots, and luckily I did. That's just how it happened.
All right. As a senior on this team, being the only senior, what more do you think that you can do as a senior and provide leadership to make the conference tournament stretch?
Basically, we need to finish out strong within the year and win these next 3 home games, and hopefully we have all the momentum going into the conference tournament. That's what we want as a team.
Outstanding game. Thanks for your time.
Well, let me bring it back over here. Ralph is still shaking hands, but we're going to get it back one more time because I want to ask him a little something. What did you say to them at halftime when you were down by 9? And I know what kind of answers you've told me on the radio before, but what did you tell them that changed the strategy in the second half?
To be honest, what we said was we thought we defended them pretty well. Pastore came off the bench and made 4 for 4 from 3, and he's a very good player. And I felt like we had a couple of defensive lapses, and we didn't like our offense much. We weren't getting the ball in good shooting areas. And I thought the second half they came out and handled the pressure much better. Lipscomb plays really good pressure defense, and they can take you out of your offense. And I thought we handled the pressure much better, and we got the ball to Kirk. Elvis and Jeff did a great job in the post. And I'll tell you something that people forget is that, Dexter Williams comes off in the first half and plays so well, makes some big baskets for you. Brandon started and played well in the first half. Max gave us some good minutes in the first half. Derek came off for a few minutes and just gave Michael Davis a rest when Michael needed a rest. And you got to have the whole combination of everybody playing well to have a chance to win, and that's what our kids did.
Indeed, the years. 26 years ago, Ralph Turner and yours truly with hair. You'll never see those days again. Okay, let's show you with Union on top 44-34 here at halftime what the halftime stats look like. Bulldogs brilliant shooting, 18 of 30, and Mississippi College as well, 14 of 28. Union the edge, 60-50%. 3-point field goals. Union a house of fire to start with, still at 50%, 6 out of 12. And the Choctaws, 6 out of 14 for 43%. Choctaws have not been to the free throw line, hence the 0 there. And Union, 2 out of 6 from the line for 33%. I know Dave wants to see that improve. Rebounding, Union with the edge, 16-12 offensive rebounds. They're on top 5-2. Not a lot of turnovers in this game. Union has only committed 2 and Mississippi College 5. and Union's picked up 8 points off turnovers. That's a big number when you have a 10-point lead. So a lot of that lead comes from capitalizing off mistakes that the Choctaws have made. And with fouls in the game, Mississippi College only with 6 and Union only 1. Jordovic, the only one who had a personal foul for the Bulldogs in the first half. So I will alert everyone that we are in a position where we have had some technical issues, and so I'm going to be doing a little bit like radio, telling you the score, because we don't have the ability right now to graphically put it up as we always do. We apologize for that, but I'll be verbally telling you the score after every basket and keeping you abreast of that. So no worries. I'll keep thinking about it as if it was in the days when I was doing basketball on radio many, many, many years ago. And in fact, frankly, it was more than 50 years ago when I did my first basketball broadcast on radio. Anyway, Bulldogs lead at 44-34, and the lead has largely been between about 8 and 13 points here in the first half. Mississippi College, it has been a good game for them as far as Cowart Jr. with his 3 3-pointers and 13 points to lead everyone in the game, but DeBuck came off the bench and had a big 11, and we're back. So I'll still probably verbally tell you the score, but we have made it back. I want to salute our young lady from Union University. There have been some server issues here. She has worked feverishly through the first half to try to get us back up and running today, and we're all indebted to her because she has been working overtime trying to get the picture back up for those of you at home. And underneath, nice job to try to save it with Ty Parks, but apparently his foot was on the end line. And already coming out of the game is Ross, and Taylor is coming in. So a quick substitution for Coach Bolden. Almost a steal there. Tell you what, you've had a couple, and I see a couple of the guys, the assistants off the bench for Union that wanted to travel called there. They didn't get it. Each coach with 3 timeouts as we navigate home this final 19 minutes. They're down, and somebody was not communicating, and I can see Coach Bolden furious about this. Nobody seemed to have a clue where the shot clock was. And, I mean, they weren't even thinking about putting a shot up. So turnover number 6 for Mississippi College. Union again kicking back around the perimeter. And Vic's going to try the 3 and connect. Hunter had 2 3-pointers in the first half. Give him his third. He has 13 points to match Cowart for the game lead, and Union a 13-point lead. 47-34. And the hook does not go. Going right for Smith. And from the corner, Parks is going to look at that move, right? And that is so hard to do when you're that far underneath. You got to time your jump and your release of the ball properly, and Coach Bolden says, let's stop this before it gets out of hand. 49-34, Bulldogs up by 15. Dave Nevin will tell you in a heartbeat that one way to give an opponent matchup problems is to have players at every position who can shoot, and he explains why.
Teams will try to counter that by sending double teams, and then you just got to be able to make a pass, and then a guy's got to be able to make a shot. And so we put a premium on everybody being able to shoot the basketball on our team for that reason. We don't want there to be a weak link out there that this guy just can't shoot, so they're going to not guard him on the perimeter. They're going to double in the post every time we go in there, and so that is. that is how we look at it. That's how we try to exploit matchups, and you know, there'll be some that we will certainly look to exploit tomorrow.
There you go, Mike Mann and his orchestra with that great 1967 classic. Hey, hey, baby, I want to know if you'll be my girl. I can tell you, I was coming back on a high school basketball trip in 1969. And for the final, it was a 100-mile trip, and for the last 70 miles, the entire team was singing, hey, hey, baby. They just sang that one chorus over and over again. I didn't know how they had the pipes to do it, but they did the entire time. Thank goodness they won the game they had played that night. Choctaws, let's see what they do out of the timeout, trailing by 15. Turnaround jumper, nice flow and arc for Cowart, who has 15, and it's a 49-36 game. Gidgell's been rather quiet today. In fact, he didn't score at all in the first half. And Boykin from 26 feet out. Tyree with 10. It's 52-36 Bulldogs. This team is still going to continue its disciplined play. They've got a distinct pattern to their offense. Their coach is excellent. And they're going to try to match that one, and it goes just a bit short and off right and parks the rebound. Vic may try one himself and draws the foul. That's what you call patience right there. He had his back to the basket, and he was trying to look for the opening for the turnaround, either a bank or a straight-in shot, and he just simply waited on the player to descend on him and commit the foul. So Hunter Vick, who's had a good afternoon today, first time to the free throw line and did not make it. That's the weakest spot of Union's game today, 2 out of 7 from the line. That's got to get better by tournament time. And they're going to get a substitution in. Ross is back in. Taylor goes back out. And picks up 1 out of 2, and Hunter with 14 to lead the Bulldogs this afternoon. It's a 53-36 lead for Union. And they were double teaming the ball quite well. Dave's going to be talking about double teaming on one of his interviews that we do before this is all over with this afternoon. They go to the corner, and I thought he was going to go for the 3. They got to hurry down to 5. And that one was blocked. Vic timed it perfectly, and he almost lost control of it, and he did. And that was one of those that Hunter, when he had to juggle the ball down just before he got inside the arc, just was too hesitant, and the ball just got away from him. But it was a good job of defense at the opposite end. Getting close to the 16-minute mark. They work the perimeter again. Union's defense has been tenacious. Foul on the drive, and let's see who they call it on. And that's on Gidgell. That's only the second foul of the entire game, and we've got timeout. So Union leads it with 15:56 remaining, 53-36. Now, here's where we're going to talk about double teaming. Some coaches will take a gamble and double team an opposing player who can wilt under that kind of defensive pressure. I asked Dave Niven about the risks and rewards of double teaming.
Is a lot of times you can create a turnover. You're doubling the post player. They're often not the best passers on their team. We'll look heavily at assist to turnover ratio of those guys and see, is there an advantage there we can gain, even if it's it's going to be tougher to score, but we might create some turnovers just by going to trap a guy hard down there. And so that's certainly one of the rewards. But obviously, the biggest risk is you're leaving somebody unguarded when you do that, and you're usually leaving them on the perimeter unguarded. Or if they're not on the perimeter and they're around the basket, somebody has to leave somebody on the perimeter to cover down.
And Dave Niven giving encouragement to his guys. They were on top by 10 at halftime. It's now 17, 53-36, as they have outscored. It's almost a carbon copy of what we saw in the first half. They've outscored the Choctaws 9-2 here in the first 4 minutes of the second half. And yeah, Mikael Simmons, who again, he had an ankle injury, and I think he probably is not going to get in there today, but he's had a little bit of a crop job on top. I don't know if we'll be able to see him from this. That's a beautiful inbounds play, perfectly timed, and an excellent layup. So Taylor with 4 in the contest now to cut it to 15 at 53-38. Ty Parks may try. No, he's going to get in that double team and lost it. He was thinking about one of those underneath drives again, but lost it in that. And that was a case of double teaming that worked. And they were going to move in and try to double team inside against Galen Smith. Ty Parks is going to come out for a rest. And we got J.C. Clossy back in there. And the jumper. Nice fall away. Perfectly timed by Miller with 9, and it's a 53-38 Union lead. Vic is in trouble. But he saw the opening, and the opening was not capitalized on by Clossy. Had a perfect look at it, and the 3 was short. And again, slowing the tempo again. This is not a team that plays a lot of transition basketball. They don't get a lot of rebounds, only 29 per game, and that's one of the problems right there is when they cough it up. They've been averaging 14 turnovers a game, and they've been giving their opponents 18 points off those turnovers, and that's probably one of the reasons that they have not been able to connect very well. And there you go. Bo Gidgel in his first 2 of the day and a trademark basket as Union goes up 55-40. And Union's done a good job on perimeter defense today. The foul on that drive. And they're going to charge it to Littlepage, and Jeremiah committing only his first foul. And only the 3rd foul of the entire game for the Bulldogs. And J.T. DeBuck will come in to spell Hunter Vick. Dave's trying to keep a lot of fresh bodies into this contest, and there goes a steal. And I don't think they're going to beat Bo Gidgel. And they didn't, and the foul, backside trying to stop it. Just didn't work for Taylor, and he commits his 2nd. That was the quick hands of Bo Gidgel, and once he had it, he was gone. And that's the 2nd team foul, and Bo with a chance at a 3-point play. Season average for Gidgel is 13.5. And from the free throw line, 79%. He's the 2nd most efficient free throw shooter for Union. And wouldn't you know, as I say that, it goes off the back of the iron. But the Bulldogs lead at 57-40. And trying that jumper and did not get the Plinko drop. And it is Gidgel trying to stay in bounds. How he did that. The balance was unbelievable. And almost leading with the elbow. Gidgel is looking for a screen. Don't be surprised if Jeremiah falls away on this one and gets it. He has gotten so much better with his timing on that fall-away jump shot. He is 5 for 5 from the floor this afternoon. Ma, I know you're happy. 10 points for Jeremiah. 59-40 is Union's lead. And they pass it around the horn again. Tell you what, I've been impressed by this Cowart for Mississippi College. He just has a lot of tools. And they go underneath, and Gidgel, perfectly timed block. That's his 21st block of the season, 4-3. Oh, it rimmed out. Oh, my goodness. That was like one of those that you see on the 18th hole and you're trying to win the tournament, and it just won't drop. And between the defenders, a nice drive by Judah Jordan. He has 8. And Dave Niven is Dave taking a timeout, or the officials going? I think somebody just caught a Charlie horse out, and I think it was Judah Jordan. And it's a technical foul that has been called. I'm not sure on whom. So it is going to be Judah Jordan to the line to shoot 2. Oh, that's the kind that just kills you. For the season, Jordan is a 71% free throw shooter. Got the second of 2, 59-43. I'm not sure what was the reason for the technical, but apparently it was against Bo Gidgel. Apparently the official did not like his reaction after that basket. So Union will play it up 59-43 with 12:33 remaining. Still a lot of time for Mississippi College to make a run. I remind you, these two teams down in Clinton, 82-79, Union won it, but not without a huge struggle, and that one was short. Had the height, but Clossy just couldn't get it to drop. He's tried one from both ends of the wing, and it just has not fallen. Foul, and that's an offensive foul. And that is the third team foul of the half for the Choctaws. And let's see how Dave Niven plays this one. That was a little bit too off balance, but the tip is there for Jordovic. So Dujan finally comes forward with a bucket, and so Union is up 61-43. Second tip-in basket of the game. And that's, again, double-team defense that was giving all kinds of problems. Backcourt 3 is there for Miller, and timeout is called. 61-46, Union on top by 15. Well, Dave Niven and I had an interesting dialogue about double teaming and opponents, and you've seen a lot of that in the last few minutes. He told me another big risk is that you double team a post player, you're vulnerable to leaving open a solid three-point shooter.
Somebody's going to be open out there. And you know, at our level of play, almost everybody is capable of making the open three. And so, you know, when teams are able to make a high number of threes, it's awfully hard to beat them. And so we, you know, that was certainly our game plan last night. Felt like Delta State, when they made high numbers of threes, they beat people. And when they didn't, they didn't. And so we took away their 3 last night. They only made 5, which was half as many as we gave up when we beat them at their place. But you know, that we weren't able to guard them as efficiently in the post as we had the last time we played them.
11:27 remaining, and you see some more of the fans who have gathered here today. Union on top 61-46. Now there you see, talking to Jeremiah Littlepage, there's Mikhail Simmons with that new do that he has. It's more closely cropped on the side, and then it's got the distinctive top to it. I like it. And Ma Simmons, I'm proud of him because he just gave us a surprise look today when he walked in. Love meeting the parents of these players. I got to meet Bethany Dillard's father between games today, and it's just so great to see when the parents are here to support their youngsters, and that just went right through Jordovich's hands. That's the only thing you could say about it, and that gave a 3-point exchange on the turnover as Miller connects. He has 15 to match Cowart as the game's leader, and they're beginning to double team more. But it leaves open a three-pointer, and that is exactly what we just talked about, risk-reward when you're double teaming the ball, and the risk did not pay off that time. DeBuck with a three to give him 14 in the game. And the foul is charged to JT DeBuck. That's his first. And it's the fourth team foul for the Bulldogs, who lead 64-49 with 10:53 remaining. So it's been that steady 8 to 17 point lead that the Union Bulldogs have had really since about the first 5 minutes of the game. A fall away three, and that one was just way short. No authority on that one. Almost stolen by JT. Union shooting 61% from the field, 47% in three-pointers for Mississippi College, 50 and 44. Big three caroming off, and the rebound was, well, it looked like it was going to be in the hands of J.C. Hawkins, and finally he gets it on the second opportunity. Union has had so far in the game 7 Bulldogs to score. From the corner. Yes! The exclamation point for Tyree Boykin with 13. Union has 4 players in double figures. As we're halfway through this final 20 minutes of action, and Union leading 67-49 there, and the foul. And that is going to send Judah Jordan to the line. He joins the double figures crowd. That foul is charged to JT DeBuck. That's his first. So Union picking up a few more fouls than they only committed 1 foul in the first half. And he connects. So Judah is now, and I'm going to update my computer stats here because they got a little bit behind. And Union tosses it away, trying to get a wide open play underneath. A 67-52 lead for the Bulldogs as we're under 10 minutes remaining in the contest. But you just have a sense that this Mississippi College team may well have a run in them. Good block from behind by Little Page. He just completely denied that one by Miller. Quick passes on the inside for the three. In and out. What a rob job. Now from behind again, and it's Iron Unkind, and Little Page piling up the rebounds, but he lost it to Miller. Union missed out on a third opportunity at the basket, and we are getting to the 9-minute mark. Union leading 67-52. Left hand is up too high. And here comes Tyree on the attack. Oh, man, that is about 3 3-pointers in the last 3 minutes that Union has had that were right there and just caromed out. So, again, slowing down the tempo. That is more their type of game. They try to take about 15 to 20 seconds, and a nice job of snatching that away from Taylor. And off the foot of Jordan. And Union's going to get back in Ty Parks and Hunter Vick. And for Mississippi College, if I can see behind one of the numbers there, it's Carter and Ross checking back in. So Boykin to toss it in with 26 on the shot clock. And tries the three. Off the back of the iron this time, and Ross pulls it down. So Union cold the last 3 times up the floor. Big three. No, air ball way out of the range of Jovanovic. That's Marko Jovanovic. He's from Serbia and a transfer from Weatherford College. 6'8" junior. Yeah, there you go. They had to have a little bit of help to get Hunter out of trouble in the inbounds play. Now they spread them out. And that one is there. Ty Parks with a big three, and he is in the double-figure category as Union leads at 70-52, under 8 minutes to go. Those chance of defense return, and the answer shot is there for Miles Miller. Miller is the game leader now with 18. Now, all kinds of trouble as Vic and somehow manages it, and that pass just had no authority, and it's all the way down for the layup. Miller completely dominating that play and such great awareness on defense. Cuts the lead to 13, just over 7 minutes remaining. And this time Union's going to slow it down. Boykin stop and pop and connecting. He just has so many weapons on that floor, and Tyree with 15. And we're under the 7-minute mark. Union still holding that 15-point lead. From the corner, the three does not roll in. Good look at it for Cowart. Vic on the outside to Boykin. Yes, sir! 21 for Tyree. That's a 75-57 game. That matches Union's largest lead at 18. Union wanted a travel call before the timeout because steps were taken, and the official says no. He said it happened before, that the travel came after the timeout. Well, with Union on top 75-57 and 6:18 remaining, the Bulldogs' leading scorer, Tyree Boykin, that you just saw hit home that three, is a graduate student at Union, and he told us the experience on the Bulldog team this year has been a big lift to his spirits.
Yeah, I tell the guys all the time, like this is probably the most fun that I've had playing basketball, and as long as I can remember, just being able to look down not only on the court and see guys that can make plays, but look down on the bench. And we have a roster with 10 guys that can start on any night. So just having that is man, it's a blessing. It makes my job a whole lot easier.
That's a great young man. I enjoyed my visit with him yesterday, and it's a pleasure to hear a young man say that he has enjoyed this season as much as any time that he has ever played basketball. We have so many people that look for alternatives, and if they don't get what they want instantly, they go somewhere else. Tyree has just been a rock of Gibraltar, and if you heard our interview in between games, he's going to come back and play again next year. He has another year of eligibility. He's working on his master's in the Union University School of Business. And so he is determined that he's going to come back and play one more year. And that's just all the better for all of the Bulldog fans out there. We're at 6:15 remaining in the game, and Union still on top 75-57. I gave Tyree 3 too many points. He has 18 instead of 21. I'm trying to get him there faster. Big bomb three is off the back of the iron, and it is Little Page, another rebound. That's his 5th. And underneath, and it is Parks, who was clobbered from behind. It's been a lot more physical here in the second half. That foul is charged to Cowart. That is his 3rd. So Parks to the line with the opportunity to make it a 20-point lead. As we say, 18 has matched the largest that the Bulldogs have had in the game. And did not get the friendly roll. Ty's the kind that you usually expect to give you 1 out of 2 from the line. And he did. And checking back in. And I'm trying to see who did check back in. He's got his back to me right here. Oh, that's Talon Smith is back in the game for the Choctaws. Under 6 minutes with Union up by 19, its largest lead of the game. I will say it appears the Bulldogs definitely they really managed to shake off the cobwebs from Thursday night's outing. Bank shot was just a little bit off angle, and it is Little Page with yet another rebound. And they slow that tempo down. Union is not getting in a mode of playing not to lose right now, but they're going to eat up a little clock time and wait on somebody like that to give you a three. I could almost feel that the minute it left his fingertips. Fourth three-pointer of the game for Hunter Vick. He has 17, and the Bulldogs lead at 79-57 with 5 minutes remaining. And the chance of defense continued despite this 22-point lead. Answer shot is not there. And again, Jeremiah is all over the boards. He's got 10 points and 7 rebounds today. Don't know if he can quite get to a double-double. There's Clossy, back of the iron. But Parks with the offensive board, and Tyree can't make it go. Jordan the rebound, and he's trying to get it slowed down so they can get in their prospective positions. And on the drive in, the foul is called. And the foul is charged to Smith. And we've got another media timeout with 4 minutes and 18 seconds remaining. And so, Union leading 79-57. We just saw Jeremiah Littlepage pile up 3 more rebounds, and yet I got to tell you, he had to deal with one of the harshest realities of life last year, and that is when he lost his father. His dad was a big influence on Jeremiah's life, and the young man tells us how he's had to adapt.
It's still difficult at times, like just wanting to like ask him like what, like just like how you said, like what would he do, or just guidance and stuff like that. And like then on top of that, the change in our home and stuff like that, and my mom going through it, sisters, like, cause I got a lot of siblings, so they are going through it just like how I'm going through it, and it's just a lot of changes. A lot of responsibility changes and stuff like that. So it's a big adjustment for sure. Yeah.
I mentioned before during the season, I taught that young man during my final year as a professor at Union last year, and it was just a mere period of months after he had lost his dad. And I want to tell you, he came to class every day except, I got to tell you, he went through 4 quarantine periods because of COVID, and he was frustrated with that as much as anybody because he liked being around everyone. He made up every project that he had in a TV production class and did it well, did it brilliantly. And so I can tell you, I am for that young man and for his future, and he's just a sophomore. And he is, and there you go, Paul Schultze, our executive producer, and the guy with a big smile on his face. We like him when he hands the checks out. At the line, it is going to be Judah Jordan. And he drops it through. Jordan, a 71% free throw shooter on the season. And he connects again. Talon Smith is one who averages nearly 12 a game, and he's been held scoreless today. They got to hurry to get this one in. It's a 79-59 Bulldog lead with 4:14 remaining. Oh, wide open underneath. There's no way. They were bringing so many people up front, they forgot about Jordovich underneath. And he's got 6, and Union leads at 81-59, and the Bulldogs have topped their season average of 79. So it was pretty much all defense on Thursday night, and today the Bulldogs have gotten back into their normal rhythm and tempo and shooting 59% from the floor. That was a double spin move, and Taylor almost got it home but couldn't make it work. And trying to take it home again and gets the layup. Hey, Dujon can dribble the basketball a bit as he just demonstrated. An 83-59 lead, Bulldogs largest at 24 with just barely over 3 minutes remaining. And you're going to see these young fellows get into the game, and that's going to get a big, big hand from the student section. And a whistle away from the ball, and they call palming. And here they come. Jay Hardison. And I'm trying to see who else is in there. Caleb Pierce, the junior from Medina, from South Gibson County High School. He's made it in. And I think we got one more out of there. I'll check it in a minute. Yeah, Garrett Vick, Hunter's little brother. Jordan's little brother. He's in here, the freshman from Camden, Tennessee. So it's Vick time here as Hunter had 17 points today, and I think it's time for brother to come up with some. That one rims off, and they get the rebound. Garrett coming down with that board and going up high for it. J.C. Hawkins working one-on-one and puts it up, and it just would not drop. And Yardovich again. He's in double figures, I think perhaps for the first time this season. 2 minutes to go, and Union leads at 85-59. They're just blowing this one wide open. And it's Jordan again trying to find his open man. Again, you're seeing the same disciplined offense, almost stolen. And they cannot get it off. 30-second violation. And you can see a lot of the high fives from the starters for Union. That's Garrett Vick. That's the first close-up I think we've had of him all season. Everybody has played today for the Bulldogs. Distinctively different game. Oh my, Garrett was trying to dish off. Garrett probably should have taken that all the way in himself. He was trying to dish off to Caleb Pierce, and it just got him. That thing was like he had butter on his hands. I'm sure the family will have something to say about that. Two-shot foul coming. Caleb Pierce commits his first. And so at the line, it is going to be Jordan. Judas had 14 today and 4 of 5. He's the only guy who's been to the free throw line for Mississippi College. 5 of 6 make it, and it's an 85-60 lead. And he cuts it to 24 with 1:11 seconds remaining. They'd love to be able to get in position to give some of these young guys an opportunity to put one up again. Garrett stops and pops. Yes! Oh, their bedlam is broken out. Garrett Vick with the basket. Oh, my goodness. 87-61. It's Vick time tonight, and here goes a steal. Oh, he's going to lose it. Well, that was just one that couldn't be avoided. The layup was there for Cowart with 17, and we got 38 seconds remaining. And timeout is called. So we're going to keep it right here. That's the kind of thing that you just love about the color and excitement of college basketball at this level, at D2, to see a young guy like that open up and get a basket late in the game, and the guys are still getting a big grin out of it. I got to salute again this pep band led by Mike Mann, that they are here virtually every single game. I see my friend up there, Sam Schuster. He's in the white shirt, and he's another one of my former students, and just one of the nicest young men that you'll ever be around, Sam Schuster. But I want to salute this pep band. It is, they have added so much. We went for about 15 years and did not have a pep band here at Union. They had a tremendous one in the 90s, and all of a sudden it went away, and then Mike Mann has revived it again, and they have just been tremendous. You get to see these quick shots of a lot of the fans here, and you could be one of them if you'll make it out to our final regular season home game next Saturday afternoon against West Alabama. Then we got the tournament coming up, and it'll probably be a men-women doubleheader in the opening round, and traveling is called. I think some of the fans wanted a foul, but traveling is called, and so it is in the hands of Mississippi College for perhaps the final possession of the game, because we got 23 seconds remaining. Union up 87-63. Bulldogs are going to go 19-5 on the season, 13-3 in the Gulf South Conference. They will maintain at least a tie for the lead. I have not seen what West Alabama's score is. That's off the mark, and Union's going to probably, I don't know if he's going to try to get one off or not. I think not. I think they're just going to try to run the game time out. I know the fans would have loved to have seen Caleb had that opportunity, but it didn't happen. So it's an 87-63 victory for Union. And so the Bulldogs shake off the cobwebs of that really rough one on Thursday night and manage to do it in front of the home folks here, and with one home game remaining. This is one of those that I know they are glad to get this one back on the boards. It was not nearly as close as it was when these two teams met down in Clinton, Mississippi. So Union will win it 87-63, and that means a sweep of the doubleheader today. The Bulldogs and Lady Bulldogs were favored, but you just never know at this stretch of the game, because these teams will come in here and play with house money as if they have, you know, they don't worry about whether or not they're in the same echelon as Union. And let's take a look here. I am trying to see. I don't have a score yet for the West Alabama-West Georgia game. They are playing, and I'm trying to see if they're playing at home or not. Again, this is live television as I check my computer right here. They are playing at home, and so we are not seeing, and I'm trying to see if we can get the total on this. I'm gonna do this very, very quickly, and if I can't draw it up, I'll just get right into the finale here. But it is, and that game is not over with yet at West Alabama. Obviously, they probably had a lot more fouls called on this one. Well, nonetheless, it has been a good day for Union basketball, and let me try to run down the totals for you as we try to wrap things up here from Fred DeLay Gymnasium. Again, we apologize for some of the technical problems that we had today. They had a server problem here at Union that apparently failed, but hopefully you have a chance to see these games on replay very well. For Mississippi College, it was Miles Miller, their leader, with 20 points, and that's way above his 9-point-a-game season average. And then it was Judah Jordan with 16, and then Antonio Cowart Jr., and he delivered 15. And so they came home with 51 of the 63 points that Mississippi College delivered today, and they were 41% from the floor, 32% in three-pointers, and they were 6 out of 7 for 86% from the free throw line. Union totally dominated them on the boards. So that one was one category that really hurt, 40-21. So Union almost doubled them off the glass in this game. And Union actually committed more turnovers, 14-11, but the Bulldogs managed to get 17 points off of the mistakes of Mississippi College. And looking over at Union, 5 players in double figures. He won in double figures, but you had to love the eruption when Garrett Vick got that basket there late in the game. I mean, that's just something else. You just love it whenever the place goes completely wild with all of that. Let's see how it came out for Union today. It was 10 points for Dusan Djordjevic, and you got to hand that to him because he's had a real struggle trying to get in double figures this year, but he was 5 out of 7 from the floor, added 5 rebounds, and did a solid job in the 14 minutes that he played. So he had 10 points in the game. Actually, I just missed out here. 6 Union players with double figures. Jeremiah Littlepage with 10, 5 for 5 from the floor and 7 rebounds. Didn't quite get a double-double, but he had 2 assists also, as well as a block shot in the game. 12 points for Ty Parks. He got back off the deck from rough outing on Thursday night. 4 out of 5 from the floor, and he had 2 3-pointers in the game, and he added 5 rebounds out of the 40 that Union had. And then it was 14 points on the afternoon for J.T. DeBuck. Justin came up with 5 out of 8 from the floor and 3 out of 6 and 3-pointers. And he had a couple of rebounds and a couple of assists and a steal. So he had a terrific ledger on the board today. And then looking back up here, and I hope I didn't leave you. Yeah, Hunter Vick, here we go. 17 points on the game, 6 out of 7 field goals, 4 out of 5 3-pointers, and 1 out of 2 free throws, and added 2 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, a block. He had a little bit of everything. And Tyree Boykin, 18 points on the day, 7 of 15 in field goals. He had 4 3-pointers. 3 rebounds and 3 assists. It's a close one. I tell you what, we're going to give a shared player of the game from Worthy Road Studios because they were so close in their statistics, but also because of what they did around different aspects of the game. It was Hunter Vick who was really hot in the first half, and then Tyree had a huge second half. So we're going to give it co-players of the game to Tyree Boykin as well as Hunter Vick, our co-players of the game for this Union Bulldog team that's right on the verge of 20 victories on the season, and that is huge for a team that has the experience that they do. I'm going to check real quick because I want to make sure we get you underneath. They will not have a Thursday night game next week. They will be down at Christian Brothers on Wednesday night. So they will be playing in a single game, actually, on Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. Let me be sure I'm right on that because that's an unusual start time if you are playing a doubleheader. And I want to check and see my Lady Bulldogs roster here. I want to make sure that we're not getting that incorrect. Okay, they're going to play at 5 and 7. So it will be, and you can watch it on the Christian Brothers website, but also listen to Gary Neese. And they will go on the air at 4:45 on 101.5, and that will be on Wednesday night. So those games are going to be played at 5 and 7 at Christian Brothers. And again, it's crucial for the Bulldogs to try to maintain a tie for the lead in the Gulf South Conference standings. The same thing is true for the Lady Bulldogs trying to stay undefeated in the standings. Now, the last regular season home game and our last regular season telecast will be on the 19th, and that's a week from today as West Alabama comes to town. That is a big one for the Bulldogs because that's the team they're tied with at coming into today, 12-3, now 13-3 in the conference. Lady Bulldogs will be facing a West Alabama team that is 7-6, so that's what they were coming into today. But they are trying desperately to, you got to say, at this point in the season, they want to try to get a better opponent in the conference tournament. Doesn't look like they are going to host a first-round tournament game, but right now, if it was played today, they would be playing West Florida in the first round of the Gulf South tournament. for Union. As if it were today, they would be playing either Montevallo or Mississippi College, the team they just played this afternoon. So anyway, our last regular season home game and telecast will be next Saturday, 2 and 4. 1:45 will be our airtime will be 1:45. And that'll be West Alabama coming to town on an all-important conference doubleheader. The teams will wind up on the road on the 24th and 26th, 2 weekends from now, against Shorter and Lee. And on the road, those teams will be a monster. I can tell you, Union beat them both. The Lady Bulldogs did. And it's going to be a very, very tough one to wind up the regular season on the road in Rome, Georgia, and at Cleveland, Tennessee. And then we'll be back here on Tuesday night, the 1st, with the Gulf South Conference quarterfinals. And we'll tell you more about that next Saturday afternoon, but we'll have that for you right here. So that's going to wrap it up. Lady Bulldogs won handily, 78-60 over Mississippi College. And for the Bulldogs, it was an outstanding afternoon, 87-63 over Mississippi College. And so here are the people who brought you the game this afternoon: Billy Bolin and Jamie Janda, Eris Hollingsworth and Zachary Henson on cameras, our able director, Christopher Reasons, and our ever-cool, ever-present executive producer, Paul Schultze. I'm Steve Beverly, and until we're with you next Saturday afternoon, remember to come back to see us every chance you get, and so long from the great hub city of West Tennessee.